I just want to do a very quick video regarding the carving tool. It's not what you quite think it is. First of all, it doesn't seem to be quite so intuitive, but let's sort it out. Normally you're going to be looking at the colour film, probably, when you've got your software open. But if you look down the side, you can see morphing and carving stamp. And it's easy, just click on it and there it is selected. But if it's not showing, it's missing, or any of these are missing, there are three little buttons here. So this is the carving stamp one. If I click it, you see it's gone. If I click back, it's back. So that's how to get them back. Now the other thing, I tried to include in my videos anything that might be a small little problem that you might run into. So I was doing this first of all on the default colour, which is blue, and I'll show you that in a minute, but I'm changing it, whoops, I'm changing it at the moment to this green because I found it showed up better. Now it depends when you first open it what tab is showing, but we need the digitize tab. So we're going to start digitizing. Nothing seems to happen. I'm just going to make a very quickly on those little smiley faces, and I've used mostly right clicks there, and I'm going to hit enter key once. Then I'm going to make another little circle there to give him some eyes, and another one there. He's going to look a bit funny, but you're getting the gist of it, and enter, and then a little smiley smile. Now if you look down here, this has been changing all the time, but if I hit enter once more, it appears up there. Now this is what I'm going to show you if you need to save it to your library. So you can do add to library, and you can name it. I'm going to do funny face, and with a bit of luck you'll now see an outline of the face there. If you think you've saved it, you haven't. You now have to put 2 reference points. See here, digitize first reference point. So there's my first one, and there's going to be my second one. And now funny face is made. I can stamp with it automatically, or I can say use stamp and click it, and I can swing him around wherever I want. And if I look in use pattern in my stamps, because when I did it I made one for my stamps, there's my little funny face. But let me just go now and turn this back to the blue, because this is what I noticed. I'm going to start digitizing again, and I'm just going to make something simple this time so that we don't waste any time. Just a wiggly line. Hit enter and enter again. There it is. And now I'm going to do add to library as we did before, and I'm going to say wiggly. And this is where you make your new set. You won't have my stamp, so you need to make a new set. There's all the right, wiggly. Oops, get the cursor back there, and I'm just going to say OK to that. Now look, you can't just about see it. Yeah? Maybe if I zoom in a little bit more. No. Zoom out. No, can't see it at all. So don't be surprised if you can't see the line. But I'm going to click anyway my reference point because I have to. And I'm going to guess it's something like that. And it says it's been created. Now I can stamp. There we are. So I suggest that you use a colour if you're going to make a stamp, because you can go back and change the colour afterwards as I did there. But if you're going to do your stamp, you do need to have it on a colour that you're going to be able to see that little navy blue line. So blue isn't, this kind of blue isn't the ideal one. I can use stamp in the normal way, and I can swing it around, and if I right click, I've changed its, there it's down and up, and now it's up and down. So it's left click, or right click to make it different. Now down here I sort of did a wiggly line, and you could imagine this may be a branch of a tree, and you could start getting select it first, use stamp. It's not the ideal thing for a branch of a tree, I know, but you get the idea. And if we go to reshape object, you'll see that your wiggly line or whatever has been changed. So let me just, there it is. So I can move it about and enter it. I can move it about on the line afterwards, and it's got these lines here. I'm not sure what they do. Oh, they make it bigger or smaller. There we are. So you can have a little play with that and put it round. Now let me just click off of that. So you can use it for texturizing. And again, if you wanted to do some doors, let's say this was a door, I can click down here and hit enter, and again, and I can use the stamp to put, oh, enter. Well, I've got the stamp. I keep forgetting you do have to have it selected, June. Right, use stamp. So here we go. So I can put some planks in, and remember what I said to you, how we can, if it's not quite long enough, don't worry, because we're going to alter that. We just go up to there and select it, and then we can extend the ones. Look, there we go. We can extend them so they don't have to be the right length. Okay, and we can move them about. The little green mark is the mover and the ends. Right, and we can say OK to that, and then into those planks you could, oh, backspace, put some little enter, and then use stamp and start putting some knot holes in, which we can adjust in a moment. Because we can make them smaller, if you remember. So I'll just stick one there, and one there, and one there, and then I'll go to that, and then I'll just click on the inner one, and I'll shrink these down a little bit. I mean, you can just have several of these made if you wish, and grabbing the little green I can place that now in the center, and hopefully, well, not as good as, anyway, there we are. And you could add a wiggly line. Enter, enter, and now we can use the stamp. So we can put some wiggly lines in. And you can adjust, and you can make whatever you wish to create some oops, didn't want that. That's it. Ooh. And right click gives you a left click, right click, and you can get all sorts of shapes, but that's just to give you an idea of how you can texturize and make little changes to a design and give them. I wouldn't necessarily go overdoing some of these things, but when you need them, they are rather nice. And as I say, with a little bit of careful thought, you can make branches look as though they've got a bit of roughness to the bark. And the same with doors and things like that. We can put a little doorknob on. That's it, and enter it, change it, and as I say, later on I can show you some of the morphing things and some of the other things, and some of the other things you can do. They're just nice, neat little things that you can use. As I say, I wouldn't go overboard using them on everything. I've seen some of the pattern fills used rather too much on some designs, but in the right areas and on the right objects, it can give you that little bit of interest. But do choose. I mean, I've just stamped about there, and I wouldn't have that, because you don't want needle penetrations that are so close together that it's going to be difficult for your sewing machine. Look here, look. So just bear that in mind. But that's the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed it. But as I say, that adding to the library isn't quite as intuitive as you would think. So I'm going to get rid of these. I can delete them or rename them. I'm going to delete mine. Sorry about that funny noise. And that's the end of this lesson. Thanks very much. Bye.